So welcome to my review of this Hotpoint first edition wm52 in lovely brown and white finish, obviously from the 90s. Anyway, it's Hotpoint's way of basically first edition means that it's Hotpoint's transition from an old design with new technology, etc. So this has that new technology put in. So we got new programming as opposed to the old programming, but we still got some of the old style cabinets and kick plates, and this door is really sort of from the old generation, and the drawer is even though this is a new design, the drawer itself is the old one. There was also a first edition 800 as well, but we got the 1000, which is the more popular model that was sold. It wasn't that expensive. Of course, it being a basic Hotpoint, it didn't sell for that much. It's that basic. It comes with two options, some programs, and that's it. So the Aquarius version came with a Silks program, which is still selectable. It's just in between G and H. You can still select it on here, it just isn't marked down. Of course, if people wanted a special Silks program for silks and printed acetate, which is basically the printed t-shirts and stuff, you'd go on to buy the Aquarius, which is more expensive. We got economy and half load options. You didn't get any extra options on any of the other models, that was it. But it implied that the Aquarius models had an auto half load feature, which actually they didn't. Supposedly this doesn't either. All this does is reduces the water in the rinses, which we'll see when we get going, because we're going to select half load when we do our wash in a second. Anyway, the other thing is, this is in a pretty clean condition considering how old it is, over 20 years old. I got it because it needed new carbon brushes in its GEC motor, which do wear out quite quickly compared to the FHP, which then was later replaced on the Hotpoints. Any GEC damaged motors got replaced with FHP motors if they got repaired. In this case, we've just got brushes worn out. The actual motor is completely fine, so I'm keeping the GEC motor. I've got a spare FHP if I wanted to, but we're not bothering because that would take away the glamorous GEC noise that I actually think is so iconic, which you will hear when we get going. Despite this being in a rental property, it's been well cared for, so there's no actual damage as such. There's a tiny patch of rust just under here, but that's it actually. Usually you get rust at the bottom, but there isn't. There's no rust on the side, there's no rust anywhere else, just those two little patches. And then the drawer is clean, it's spotless. There's a little bit of a scratch here, but that's about it. Other than that, it's damage free, and it's a really clean condition. It's passed the PAT test. Hence why I think it was rented on 4th of the 7th 18, so I could just sell this back on because it's still on the PAT tested rules and regulations, but it will be re-PAT tested before I sell it back on, just to make sure for my own requirements. There's not much more to say actually, so we'll just take a look at the inside here. So our door handle is here. Open it up. We've got a very small door seal. We've only got literally about 2 inches between this and the actual tub. And the thing is, it's mold free as well. It's mold free. There's a little tiny patch of rust on the door seal, which we won't be able to get off. I like how fact this is all naked. It's not enclosed or anything. That's how basic this is. You literally can just, you won't take the door glass off, just take that off, them off, and you don't even have to take this actual frame off just to replace the door glass. So it's really quite easy to maintain as well. Then we've got our drum. We've got 5 kilos, but it's the same drum used on the Aquarius, which is rated at 5.5. Again, it's just a selling point to make the Aquarius sound more just better to have. Right, we've got holes in our paddles there. But the thing was, I remember having a WD-61 and that didn't have holes in the paddles, but the WD-64 that I had later on, my parents had, that had holes in the paddles like this. So it's a bit weird, considering that the WD-61 came out later than this. Anyway, up top we've got two options. We have economy, which will, if you select this, it will take in hot and cold water. Well, say no, it takes hot and cold water anyway. But what you'll do, it will sort of skip the heating stages. Actually, I'm going to select it in a minute. We've also got half load, which reduces the water load, like I said before. But not on the wash. The wash level will be exactly the same. I've tried it out. But I haven't seen the rinses yet, so we don't know. Right, the only other thing, we've got 10 wash programs. We've got J, which is wool. We've got a short spin there for wool. It doesn't do an anti-crease at the end. We've got separate pre-wash, because it allows 3 kilo to be washed with either cotton or synthetics, and therefore you can either then advance it to D or E, F, G or H after that. Not you'd use H after a quick wash. But yeah, you can actually wash acrylics and synthetics on the pre-wash. It does a 400 burst at the end and stops there. We've got program B, which is white cotton with a pre-wash at 95 degrees. That'll advance them to C, doing white cotton 95. We'll skip to there. It's Core Fast Cotton 60, which is basically a standard program. It wasn't standard though, back in those days. But then you got program E, non-Core Fast Cotton, more for your darks really. We've got fabric softener and spin, and then we've got fast spin when it stops, and then we've got program F. We've got coloured synthetics, or just basically synthetics at 50. You've got acrylics at 40. Then if you notice, it clicks straight into there as well. Any hard click, and it means it's a stop point to start a program. If it moves on dead easily, it's not. So there we've actually got silks hidden away. Then we've got program H, which is quick wash. Doesn't heat at all, just takes a mix of hot and cold. Tries to get you around 30 or 35 degrees or something like that. We've got synthetics, rinse and spin. We've got short spin for synthetics and then off again. Oh, I've got to also mention. Yeah, I forgot to mention that there's wool final rinse and spin as well. It marks out the final rinse stop position, but it doesn't mention it in the user manual or anything. So there you are. There's a little bit of heads up if you've got one of these old machines. I personally love them. They still do a good job. The slow 1000 RPM spin there is a bit of a downer really for this machine, but that would be the case way back then, so it's not much different anyway. Right, so we'll load up then. I've got my onesie. Hasn't been washed in a while, so. And it's nice bright and yellow. We'll hopefully make this stand out a little bit in the washing. So I'm going to select economy and half load. I'm going to change it to program E. So what we got here, the big compartment is your main wash. We've got this little compartment here for your pre-wash, and that is your fabric softener. The only thing I don't like is getting this drawer in and out. You have to pull it, physically pull it out with a bit of force, and it is very hard to then get back in again. You think you're going to break it, but I could do a how-to video on that actually. So fabric softener in there. I've got 40mm of aerial, and that can go in there. That compartment is huge, absolutely huge. It's about 400ml there for the main wash, and then you got like 100ml for the pre-wash, which is kind of sense. Then later on, the pre-wash came a little bit bigger, and the main wash shrunk a bit. So there is a little bit of a buzz because I'm running cold and cold. There's no hot. On E normally it only just takes in cold, but it's taking in a little bit of hot as well. D will take in hot, just hot, as well as C. F will take in hot and cold, and then G will just take in cold and heat it up. I've already filled up that quickly, look. Right, so the water level comes up to the door seal there. The pressure switch is actually quite sensitive, so much so it's putting more water in. Even though that onesie would have not even barely took any of the water on, with it just being fully polyester. And that means when it's finished filling, we've actually got a little bit higher. Right, so we've got a little bit of a squeak. Maybe we could just look at that a little bit. Maybe I just need to... And then later on in the spin, you'll hear this little knocking noise. But the drum spider's completely fine. Right, so we moved on to wash now, without heating. Interesting. So, it's not taken that long. I say that's, well, about 65 minutes. If you had heat, it's about 75 minutes, so. And it looks like there's no actual difference between half load and full load. So it's very weird. So what am I going to give this out of 10? Well, it's honest to God 9 out of 10 because, okay, it's not very top of the range, but it does everything you want it to do. It's a washer, it's reliable, it's dependable, it's quick, it's... The only downside with it is, of course, the 1000 RPM spin is a bit weak. Even compared to other models from the 90s, the 1000 RPM wasn't that great. So other than that, it's a good all-rounder. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe for more reviews like this.